at Munro Global Growth Small Mid-Cap Fund, we take the investment process that Munro has trialed and errored over the past decade to the smaller end of the market cap. And we aim to find the best growth companies on the smaller side for our investors. Yeah, so there's a couple of things that we think we have an edge. I think the first thing is we really take a whole team approach. Most of the small mid-cap fund is run by a separate sleeve within the investment team, and they tend to sit in the pod, and they tend to be quite isolated from the rest of the team. And Munro partners, all 12 of us, are intimately involved with running the fund, picking the stock from day one. So the outcome is we really tap into a really wide range of expertise across all our areas of interest at Munro, and we pick the best stocks out of that expertise, and that becomes the component of the small mid-cap fund. I think the two other things we learn is we have the same team member that go down on a particular AOI that take care of our large cap fund holdings, but also take care of our small cap fund holdings. The outcome of that, we like to say we know exactly what we're looking for when we're looking for these small and mid cap companies. We take everything we learned, looking at NVIDIA over the past 10 years, looking at Facebook over the past 10 years. We take everything we learn, we go down the market cap and say we want to find the winning small cap companies, and they must have these kind of characteristics. What your revenue growth should look like, what your profit growth should look like, what your cash flow conversion should look like. So we know exactly what we're looking for when we go find them. And the last thing is we know who to call. So it turns out that the large cap peers of the small cap companies are some of the best sources of information to understand not just where the industry is going, but also to suss out the management team to really understand the strength and the competitive edge of their products. So we often said, look, if we're just running a small mid-cap fund, why would we pick up the phone and call a $4 trillion market cap company? But we do. We have a quarterly conversation with some of these large cap holdings that we hold, and they turn out to be some of the best sources of information and channel checks for the small and mid-cap companies. I manage the Munro Global Growth Small and Mid-Cap Fund, and our objective is to outperform our benchmark, which is MSCI ACWI Small and Mid-Cap Index. Yeah, I think sort of nobody has a crystal ball, and we're definitely not market predictors at Munro Partners. We are structural growth investors. I think the market will be volatile. I think you will continue to have some pretty extreme moves, and the headline will be really noisy. But I think ultimately what make money for our investors is these long-term structural tailwinds, and that's really what we're backing. So I think the macro level, it will be noisy. There are quite a number of positives. We think M&A's picking up, that's really good for the small mid-cap companies. We think deregulation is really good for the small mid-cap companies, and when and if the interest rate falls, that also tend to benefit the smaller end of the market cap. But I cannot stress enough, that's not really what drives the returns and the growth of our companies. What drives their growth is the structural changes that we're seeing. And the last thing I would say is, we think the macro will continue to be volatile, and that's why you have to have a balance of areas of interest. And within the small mid-cap fund, it is a pure growth fund, and it's a pure growth small mid-cap fund, yet we have about 7 to 8 very diverse areas of interest that really has been driving really strong performance year to date and in 2024, and we expect those structural tailwinds to continue driving a very diverse set of earnings growth going forward. Yeah, so our top areas of interest for the Munro Global Growth Small Mid-Cap Funds are security, high-performance computing, big data, travel, innovative health, and digital media and software. Yeah, we think the innovative health is squarely on the first half of the S curve, and there are just many reasons to be really excited about innovative health. If you take a step back, obviously the spending is going up on healthcare globally. We'll have an aging population, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That means a lot of us are going to live a lot longer, and hopefully we enjoy our health span for a much longer period of time. So we genuinely think this is really great for human beings and for the the world. And you overlay that with the faster innovation from the AI side. And you really have an area that is huge, that is so relevant and so important, that have trillions of dollars of global spend, but at the same time being a direct beneficiaries on AI. So we have seen the huge impact AI has already had on medical diagnostics, on imaging, on therapeutics, and on drug discovery. So it's just really exciting field. It takes a little while for these things to really play out in earnings growth, and that's why we start investing today. But we think that this is an area that's going to go through some really big transformation over the next decade.